Talking to actors wasn't intimidating to me, because I had done it before, but just not under the job description of director. For me, Mel was Mel, you know, from Conspiracy Theory. I wasn't thinking that a movie star's coming in who I don't know and that kind of thing.
Well, you're the one that left town, Mrs. Bronson, you tell me. Up! Up!
For example, I was much more intimidated by James Coburn because I didn't know him. He's this kind of legend from the 60s, and he's in The Great Escape. So I didn't give a line of direction to Coburn.
Oh, Jesus. Oh, I thought you were dead. Well, but what are you going to do? You're just going to lie there?
Cut!
Go on, get your asses out there. What are you going to get him?
I'd say cut, and he'd look over at me, and I'd say, that was cool. And he's like, do you have any notes? And I said, no. And then, so finally, by like the third thing he did, he would just look over. I'd say cut, and he'd look over and go, cool? And I'd say, cool. And, you know, or I'd give him thumbs up. You know, that's my direction to him.
70,000? It's only 70,000? Jesus, that's more than my suits cost, for Christ. That's not as much as my suits cost. I could have, my suits. I mean, it's a strange piece. My suits cost more than that.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever played a character like that. All the characters I've had, they've been, you know, either really vicious people or they've had a lot of great sense of humor to them. You know, I always try to put a little humor in characters anyway. You two are fired.
I just like watching him. I like the toothy grin. He's passed away now, God rest his soul. But I always liked seeing him in films as a kid. And when I met him, I wasn't disappointed. He was sort of a more, you know, bigger, sort of more avuncular version of our man Flint. You know, he sort of had the teeth and the, you know, the voice, and you know, the voice was amazing. The stogies, you know.
And actually, it's only 70. Tell her that, will you? I know where I've seen you. I've seen you on chicken buckets. You motherfucker.
Colonel Sanders.
Oh, Mel's a ball to work with, you know, because he has a great sense of humor, and, you know, he's always coming back with stuff, you know, we'll play off of that. We worked in Maverick, and that was great. That was like going to a party every day. I just wish there was more to do. This is the only scene I'm in this thing. It's the end here. And he called me up, wanted me to do the thing. I said, of course, why not?
I think we're good.
Yeah.
I think we're good between all the exits and everything, yeah.
Very nice.
And we were going to do the big shot over Mel's back, going in, coming around on a 180, and discovering her in the back who shoots him. He goes down.
Quiet. Ah! Oh, Jesus! Wait till I'm out of the fucking way! All right, okay?
Greg Henry's hysterical. And terrifying once you call action. Terrifying, malevolent little creature. Off camera, what a sweet little delight. I mean, everyone had a crush on Greg, I'm sure. Just such a delight, so much fun.
Oh, you were great! Yeah, everything's cool.
Cut.
Both he and Mel were hilarious to be with. They're pranksters. There's the scene after the officer in a gentleman-style walk down the hallway where I'm lying in bed, and then there's a flashback. And so Mennonite style, I was fully in character moments before we called action. So I was lying in bed in this lovely Zen state. And it happened to be October 31st, but I didn't remember this that day. Action, and I hear this, Lynn. I roll over, yes, sweetie. And I look, and there's a werewolf mask in my face. And I scream, holy motherfucking Jesus. I leapt out of the bed, and it was Mel. We'd done like 3 takes really romantically and intense. And the fourth take, he decided to sport this horrendous werewolf mask.
I didn't think I was in shot.
38 Boston, take 1.
C-marker? C-mark.
Action.
140 grand
140 apiece.
total. In thinking about the script that was written by Brian, it was so tight, and I didn't want any extra fat on the bone because that was unnecessary. So I remember wondering, well, how do I articulate who she is with such there's not a lot of screen time, and she has a history. So the moment of the untied lace and choosing shoes where I could show that she was, 9 degrees off kilter.
This particular script, when I read this character, it just popped in my head. This has to be that way. So I was looking and looking for, and just find the right shoes. When I brought it into her, she said, that's exactly what this character's about.
Hey, you know what? Porter? It's funny. This will kill you. It's always 140 grand. Jesus fuck! Wait a fucking way! Jesus. Okay.
To bring up Dick, one night Dick called me after I had been at it for a couple of weeks, and he's like, how's it going? And I said, it's going good. And he was like, are you tired? And I'm like, yes, I'm tired. And he said, it's a hard job, isn't it? And I'm just kind of going along with the kind of not really saying what I'm feeling. I'm like, yeah, it's very hard. And finally he gave me this kind of in, and he said, but you're having a little bit of fun doing it though, right? And I just stopped and I go, Dick, it's the greatest job on the face of the earth. And I said, all my life, I've been trying to kind of find my place in the world. And I said, it's the only job, and I don't like to write. I don't enjoy writing. And I find it very difficult and very onerous and very just a chore to get through. And I said to him, I go, this experience is so great. And there's a long silence, and Dick goes, it's the greatest job on the face of the earth. And he goes, but don't tell anybody. He goes, don't tell, and just keep telling everyone you're tired and you're miserable, because you don't want this getting out. What a great job being a film director is.
Listen, no matter what the argument always comes down to, the director or the writer, it's about the writer, it's not about the director. My compliments, they were two of my best.
No, they lull too easy. $48.
Bill Devane is great. I mean, the guy is really great. I could watch that guy all day long. He's very interesting to watch.
I'm sorry to bother you, but there's a problem. A man is in my office with a gun. He says he'll kill me unless the outfit pays him $130,000 that one of our lieutenants stole.
70,000. It's 70. Let me talk to him.
Her. He wants to speak to you. Directing is not a difficult job. It's totally overrated. It's just that over the last 20 years, the directors have been a little bit brighter guys, so they get talking to guys like you, and they convince guys like you that they're the power behind the throne, and, so they're the big guys. But without guys like Brian, you got nothing. Wonderful script. Yeah, you can't make, you could destroy a good script, but you can't make one on the floor.
William Devane, I had grown up watching, from Marathon Man and just all countless things he had done, television stuff he had done. Not that I wasn't intimidated by him, but he's more of a kind of a character, working actor. He was very easy to talk to, but those guys are such pros. It would be a lie to imply that I was creating their performances. They would come in with an idea of what to do, and I would nudge it a little bit here or there.
Speak to me, Carter.
You just don't get it, do you dumb fuck? It's make-believe, I mean, I graduated from high school with 9 shop credits. Wore a suit once when I was confirmed. I played Kennedy, and I haven't been able to get out of a suit since, so I have no idea why they hire me to play these parts. I'm basically a plumber.
97 Jackson, take 2.
My compliments, they were two of my best.
No, they lull too easy.
Bring in that second roll there, Jason.
Want to rehearse again with Ray coming up as the dog?
We had one covered set for weather in Chicago, but all our sets were all built at Warner Brothers on the sound stages at Warner Brothers, which was always a thrill for me because I had been on those sets on other movies that I'd written but hadn't directed, and it was just kind of a thrill to be on the lot at Warner Brothers, you know, walking onto a stage and it's your movie that's going. And
Yeah. What's his name?
He took your job after you.
We built 5 or 6 sets here in LA, and this is our cleanest spot, which is Rosie's apartment, and we designed symmetrical architecture. The idea was to make something beautiful but not very livable.
Oh, good. Oh, so
Maria's this kind of pretty, tough Philly chick. Perfect, you know, for what she had to play, and she did it well. It was sort of dry, and, you know, there was something hot about her and something pedestrian about her.
What's his name?
Porter. He took your job after you left. He's just as tough, but he won't leave me, will you, baby? Mwah. It's my first big movie, really. I'd done Permanent Midnight, but my first big kind of movie with a movie star, like with Mel Gibson. I was terribly intimidated. You wanna sit down or something?
No, thanks, I can't stay.
There are a couple of movies in my life that have stuck with me so much, and Braveheart was one of them, where I was literally in the theater with my friend Drea, weeping like this. And I would just remember being so moved by him.
I'm looking for a syndicate. What do I say? I'm looking for a syndicate boy.
I remember not being terribly confident, ever. Not one day. Feeling like I was the new kid on the block and really scared.
And I need to ask a favor.
A favor? Maybe you're not the same as ever. Brian was open to the idea of this woman, though she had been a prostitute, that she wasn't just that. That was her job and something she did, but they had a relationship and a friendship, and what does that mean? And she's a complicated human being. Can't use Star Service anymore because he beats up all the girls. He almost killed one.
You.
Does it matter?
We talk a lot about her character, and I want a little bit hint of what her past was about, but not overly done it, you know. So that was the reason why I kind of put into pants instead of into more like skimpy, typical outfit.
Look, you think I'm gonna tell?
How strong are you, Parker? Parker. Inside, I was so young still. And I was putting on this facade of toughness, which really worked for the character of Rosie, because she was kind of doing that, you know? This young girl who lived a kind of a hard life.
See only Mark is terrified of his own fucking shadow.
Is that right?
Uh-huh.
Is that right?
Uh-huh.
Well, then I guess she must be the lucky girl.
I remember I had to do this scene where after Greg Henry comes in and kind of beats me up a bit, and I'm like crying on the floor. We're on this big soundstage at Warner Brothers, and I would have to go into the other room to prepare. You know, it's like early acting days where I was like, oh, I gotta prepare. Okay, dead puppies, dead puppies. I try to think of something to make myself upset. And I was howling, and the set's totally quiet, and Brian would come back and be like, are you okay? And I'd be like, yes. And I would walk out in the other room, and Mel would be just kind of joking and playing, and when he had to do a scene like that, he would literally be laughing and just come on and be able to, and I was completely inspired by that.
What's up? VISITA?
The first night I met Mel Gibson, we went out with all of his friends to like a steakhouse in Chicago. And here I am, like this little girl from Philly, like sitting with this most brilliant, beautiful, life-affirming man, and I didn't even know what to do with it. And we went to this bar afterwards, and he found out it was my mom's birthday, who lives in Philly. And he's like, someone bring a phone to the table.
and got a phone and called my mother in the middle of the night in Philadelphia for her birthday, and I'll never forget it. It was the sweetest, kindest thing, and he just didn't have to do it, but he's just sort of like that.
This is Satan Pierre. Pierre Satan.
Yes, thank
You have to.
Very nice. I was given a lot of freedom, and Brian was very supportive in that, as was everyone at Icon, and Mel as well. So I definitely enjoyed it as a cinematographer, and I think that creatively it was a blast. I had a lot of fun doing it.
I think it's Bruce's time for the morning.
Bruce is a little horny. I am very horny.
It's my favorite film. It's one of my favorite work, really, that I felt that I was able to create and have so much fun with the characters and the actors and the director. I mean, it was one of the best work I've done.
Hey, he's a nice devil.
My pride in my relationship with Brian is just the fact that I have Brian as a friend. And it's been a wonderful friendship. If you're gonna do it with a first-timer like that, nobody better than Mel Gibson. I mean, really, the two of them, I think they were at odds at times, but they were simpatico, they understood it, they came together, they were in each other's minds. Brian took control. Brian was ready. There's a lot of guys step off and they're not ready, they're not in command. I thought Brian did an extraordinary job.
Again, to bring up Dick, like, I don't have a big action when I call action. Generally, I just say action. You know, I say it loud enough for everyone to hear me. And I remember the very first day, Dick, we were at the Warner Ranch, probably towards the end of shooting, and Dick came to the set to visit. And we knew he was coming. And we were getting ready to roll on a shot, and it was an exterior, a pickup we were doing that we didn't get in Chicago. So we had recreated the sidewalk where Mel's sitting at the end of the movie. And out of the corner of my eye, I can see Dick's, you know, big kind of, it's like the president arriving, because there's like a lead car, and then there's a, you know, a car with, you know, someone else in it. And I know Dick's like arriving on the set. But we're getting ready to roll. He doesn't know that I've seen him, and I can see him kind of out of the corner of my eye, sneaking around and getting in behind me. I'm not right behind me, but he's just getting in behind me, and he's waiting, you know, for us to finish so he can come say hi and push me around a little bit and stuff. And I know he's watching, and he's right behind me, so we're getting ready to roll, and Dick calls action like it's God on top of Mount Sinai, you know, dictating the 10 Commandments. And so we're getting ready to roll, and I said, action, you know, action, just the way Dick says it. And I could even, out of the corner of my eye, I could see him kind of react. And then we ran the scene, and I'll cut the same way Dick calls it, and all of a sudden he's there. He's like, "Hey, kid." He's like, "Oh, that was great." He goes, "You really call it. He goes, "Where'd you learn how to call it like that?" And I'm looking at him, and I said, "I learned it from you, Dick." And it was so funny because he got tears in his eyes, and he kind of welled up for a second. And he's like, "Oh," and then he's like hugging me and like kind of tossing me around, and that was the end of it. But it was like, you know, I'll remember that till there's only 5 things left I can remember. You know, that the day Dick heard me call action the first time on the set. So.